Alright, so section 6.3, factoring trinomials for the form ax squared plus bx plus c when a is not equal 1. Okay, there are two methods we're going to master. The first method is called what? Grouping method. Okay, so we will learn both methods. Okay, and eventually it's up to you which method you want to use to factor a trinomial with a not equals 1. Okay, so now let's look at the first method. It's called a grouping method. Okay, so how to factor trinomial using the grouping method? I'm going to ask volunteer to read this. Whose turn? Cameron?
Yeah. Steps to factoring trinomials using the grouping method. 1. Factor out greatest common factor. Make a positive for easier factoring. 2. Find a
Times b. Times c.
And b.
Yes.
Number 3. Find a pair of integers that multiply to make a times c and add up to b. 4. Rewrite the trinomial middle term as two middle terms using the integers found in step 3. 5. Factor by grouping.
Very good. Thank you so much. Okay. So, first step is always if we have GCF, factor out GCF. And then if the coefficient of the square term a is not positive, make it to be positive. Okay, so this way it will make our factoring easier. Then what do we do, guys? This is key, okay? We're going to find a times c and b, okay, such that when we factor the a times c, see, we're going to find a pair of integers such that they multiply to make a times c, and then they add up equals what? b. Okay, so how to understand this step? Once we find a times c, factor a times c into two factors, okay, as a product of two factors. The sum of those two factors must equal what? b. Okay, then once we find those two factors, we're going to rewrite the middle term from the trinomial as two middle terms. And then we'll have what? Square term. This middle term can be split as two terms and then plus c. So we'll have four terms. How do you factor four terms polynomial? Remember, by grouping. Okay, we did this in section 6.1. Okay, now I'm going to show you about this entire step. Okay, so I'm trying to use some examples. We can do it. Okay, all right. Let's factor 5 times x squared minus 17x plus 6. I have some question for you before we factor it. Do we have any GCF from this 3-factor? No. How about the coefficient of the square term? Is it 1? No. What is the a? 5. What is capital B? Negative 17. What is capital C? 6. So how to factor this? What do? We're going to multiply a by c. Remember, if capital A is 1, we don't have to multiply a by c. We just use c directly factor c, right? If the a is not 1, what we do is multiply a by c, which gives us what? 30. Okay, and then factor 30. Okay. So the example, a times by a times b, okay, such that, okay, yeah, when you factor 30 by a product of a times b, such that what? A times b equals what? 30, and a plus b equals capital B. What is capital B? Negative 17. So we want to find this a and b, okay, lowercase a and b. We'll factor 30 such that sum equals negative 17. So what kind of a and b satisfy these two equations? 30 is positive, negative 17 is negative. So when we factor 30, we have to make it to be what? Factor it to be as what? Two negative factors, because eventually the sum of this a and b must be equals negative 17, right? So positive 30 can be factored to be what? Negative 1 times by what? 30. Does this work? Sorry, negative 1 times by negative 30. Does it work? Sum equals negative 17? No. How about negative 2 times by negative 15? Is this work? Does this work? Yes or no? Negative 2 plus negative 15 equals negative 17?
No.
No? Negative 2 plus negative... The given is negative 17, right? So does negative 2 plus negative 15 equals negative 17?
No.
Negative 2 plus negative 15 equals negative 17, yes or no?
No, because it would be.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
I'm sorry, why? It's not the no!
Yeah, I thought it was multiplication.
So, we found out the A and B, they are what? Negative 2 and negative 1? 15. Satisfy sum equals negative 17 and product equals what? 30, right? So negative 2 times negative 15 equals what? Positive 30. So these two are the two factors we found out, right? What do we do now? This is key, guys. This is very important. What do? We are going to split the middle term, which is negative 17x, by what? A negative 2x plus a negative 15x, okay? So we can rewrite this trinomial to be 5x squared minus 2x minus what? 15x plus what? 6. Split negative 17 by two terms. What are the two terms? Depends on the two factors we found. Negative 2x, negative 15x. Okay? Then what do we do now?
Combine like terms. Wait, you factor two. You split it up and you factor.
By grouping, right? Grouping. So the first two terms, any common factor from the first two terms? X squared, x, yeah, right, x. So if we factor out x, we should have what? 5x minus what? 2, right? Negative 15 and positive 6. Any common factor, this is harder.
No.
15, 6. Yeah, 3. I would say negative 3. How about that? Yes? Negative 3 times what equals negative 15x? 5x, right? Negative 3 times what equals positive 6?
-3.
Negative 2.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, any common factor now?
Yes.
5x minus 2, 5x minus 2, right? So factor out the 5x minus 2. So from this term we have what? An x left. From this term we have what?
-3.
Negative 3. So see?
What is so much harder?
This is much harder, right? See, let's summarize how to do it, guys, by grouping method. First, use A times C, give us 30. Factor 30 such that these two values sum equals capital B. We did it. Oh, it's negative 2, negative 15. Split the middle term into two terms. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 terms. And then pair them two terms by two terms, factor by grouping. Do you want to try another question?
Yes.
Yes. Let's try question D, please. 6x squared plus 19x minus 20. Any GCF? Greatest common factor? Any common factor from the three terms?
No. 6, 19, and 20?
Yeah. No? No, right? So, what is the coefficient of the square term? Is it 1? No. It is 6, right? It is 6. So, if the A is not 1, what should we do? Multiply A by C, give us negative 20, right? So we are going to find an A times B such that B equals negative 20 and A plus B equals what? 19. We want to find the product of the two numbers. Equals negative 20 and then sum equals positive 19. When we are going to factor a negative number, this A and B must be one positive, one negative, right? In order to get a product equals negative, right? So negative 20 can be factored by what? Such that the sum equals 19. Give it a try. negative 1 times 120, right? No, sum does not equals 19. 1 times negative 120, no, doesn't work. How about 2 times by negative 60? Negative 2 times 60, no, right? How about 3 times by negative 40? Negative 3 by 40, no. How about 4 by what? 30?
30, yeah.
Negative 30, right? No. Negative 4, positive 30, no, right? How about the 5, 24? Negative 24, does it work? The sum equals negative 19, right?
Yeah.
How about negative 5 times by positive 24? What do you think?
Yes.
Does it work? Yes.
Wait.
Negative 5
Oh, 24, not 20.
positive 24, right? Negative 5 times plus 24 equals 19, yes or no? Yes. So A equals what? Negative 5, B equals 24. What do you say? A equals 24, B equals negative 5. Doesn't matter? Doesn't matter, okay? Doesn't matter. So now, guys, what can we do? What should we do, guys? Split the 19x by what? 24x and negative 5x. Split. Why we're finding these two numbers? We want to split the middle term in terms of the, as a product, as a sum of these two, okay, two numbers, okay? So 24x minus 5x. And then minus what? 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 terms. Are we able to group? Yes, we have to, okay, we have to. So, 6x squared plus 24x, any common factor?
X.
X. Any number? 6, 24,
3.
is 3 the greatest common factor?
Oh,
6, yes, 6x. So when we factor out 6x, we should get x plus what? 4, right? And in the last two terms, negative 5x minus 20, any common factor? Yeah, negative 5, right? Negative 5, okay. So, we have a negative 5, and then we should get x plus 1? 4, right? Common factor?
Yes.
X plus 4, right? 6x minus 5. Whew.
Okay, I don't understand how you get the first line of it.
Okay, so
I get how you get the greatest common factor and then the two add up to 19.
19, you get it here, right?
Yeah.
You get 24 minus 5 equals 19, right?
Yeah.
Then you don't understand why this is the case, right?
Yeah.
Because 19 equals 24 minus 5, right? So we rewrite 19x by 24x minus 5x.
Oh, okay, so it's like substituting 19 for 24.
And negative 5.
Okay.
And then the reason why we want to split 19 is because in order to group, factoring by grouping, we need 4 terms. So far we only have 3, right? So that's why we find the 24 and 5. We split the middle term into 2 terms. Now we have 4 terms we're able to group. Okay?
Yeah, no, I didn't understand why we were putting it in the middle.
Yeah.
But now I do.
Okay, so what do you think about this method? We need a lot of practice, right? That's a lot. We need a lot of practice, okay? Alright, so now let's turn to page, match the page, and match the page. The question 2. Okay, the question 2, I'm going to just pick up one question we do, okay? Because this type of question is factor out the greatest common factor and then factor the remaining trinomial, okay? So all of these questions, they are very similar, okay? Very similar, okay? So let's do one, okay? Let's try the last question, okay? Factor this trinomial, negative 45x cubed plus 96x squared minus 48x. If we have greatest common factor, factor out the greatest common factor at first. I will give you a couple minutes to try it, okay? After we factor out the greatest common factor and see and try to use a by grouping method to factor the rest of the trinomial, okay? I'll give you couple minutes to think about it, okay? See, the first term, it is negative 45, right? Negative number. So in order to factor out, in order to factoring the trinomial, we try the negative, okay? We try factor out the negative. But do you think negative 6, but it's 6 a factor of 45?
I don't know.
Remember how we get the GCF from numbers? Remember that? 45 can be factored by what? 3 times by 15, right? 3 times 5. And then 96, because it has a 3 here, I'm going to write a 3 here. This is 32. And then all of the rest are number 2s, okay, 2s, okay? So this will be 2 times 2 times 2, 5 times, okay? 2 to the cube. Yeah, 2 to the 16, let me do it this way. 2 to the 8 times 8. 2 times 4, 2 times 2, okay, so 96 can be factored by 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 48, 3 times 16, 2 times 8, 2 times 4, 2 times 2. So 3 and 4 of 2 multiplied back together. What is a common factor among these? 3. How about this 3? See, 3 does not show up for the rest of, right? And 5 only here, okay? So, the greatest common factor for the number part is only what? 3, okay? Alright, so what will be the GCF? 3, because the first term, it is negative. In order to get, in order to factor easier later, we have to make sure the highest term, it is positive term. So if the GCF is negative 3, and for the variable part, x to the cube, x squared, and x, okay? So the GCF is negative 3x. Please factor out the negative 3x.
For this one, we don't do 8 times C.
We will.
Let's play 8 times C.
We will do it. Before we do 8 times C, you see, Daniel, negative 45 and negative 48. Do you see where are A and C? The A and C are for a trinomial A times x squared plus B times x plus C. This is x cubed, x squared, and x. So first we have to factor out the GCF in order to get an A times x squared plus B times x plus C, right?
So we do that one normally, like?
Yes.
Okay.
So what do you have inside of parentheses? How about you tell me? As my writer, what do you have here for this term?
Is it 15x?
15x squared, right? How about this x term? What do you get? Negative what?
32x squared?
X, because we factor out an x.
Yeah. Okay.
And then how about this constant term?
Negative 16?
Negative 16 or positive 16. We have to make sure that negative 3x times this part equals negative 48x, right? So positive 16. Okay, Daniel. Now we're having A times x squared plus B times x plus C. Now we're having it. What is a capital A? 15. What is capital B? Negative 32. What is capital C? 16. Now what we're going to do is by what? Multiply A by C, okay? So 15 times 16, what do you get? Use your calculator, please.
240.
240, 240, right? So, A times C is 240. Okay, we want to factor 240 such that the sum of these two numbers equals negative 32. In order to get a sum equals a negative number, do we factor 240 into positive factors? See, for example, 4 by 60. See, for example, 4 times 60 is 240, right? Can the sum of the two positive numbers equals a negative coefficient? No. So, all of the factors we get from this 240 must be both negative. The sum will equals what? A negative number. But we need negative 32. Negative 4 plus negative 60 is too large, right? Yeah, it's negative 64. It's not. So we're going to increase this number and decrease this number. Can we have a 6 times by 40? Negative 6 by negative 40. How about the sum? Negative 46, right? So not negative 32. Can we try negative 8 by negative 30?
No.
Little bit, but closer. We're getting closer, right?
Right.
How about we try negative 10 by negative 24?
A little bit.
Little bit, not yet. How about we try negative 12 and negative 20?
Yes.
Yes or no? Bingo. There we go. Right? So, we're going to split the negative 32x by what? Negative 12x, negative 20x, right? Okay, so, yes, you guys really get it. Negative 3x times by parenthesis. 15x squared minus 12x minus 20x plus 16. 4 terms, what do we do now? Grouping, right? 15x squared minus 12x, any common factor?
Yes,
X. 15, 12, any common factor? 3, yes. 3x, yes. 5x minus 4, okay? Some of you guys don't know how to get these things in terms inside of parentheses. What do? Use each term, divide by the 3x. That gives us the term inside, right? Because we want this 3x times this equals this, right? So we can get this 15x squared minus, divide by 3x, that gives us the 5x, right? This is 15x. Yes, negative 12x divided by 3x, so give us negative 4, right? And then negative 20x and plus 16, any common factor? Negative 4, right? So we should have a 5x, what do? What do we have? Minus what? 4. You see the common factor? Yes. So, negative 3x, okay, times by what? 5x minus 4 times by what? 3x minus 4. Done.